Welcome once again to our continuing sessions on the subject matter from my book, How to Attract Money Using Mind Power. I, of course, am James Goy Jr., the author of this book, this amazing little book. We are now at the point in the book, chapter 13. Organization. What is organization? As I'm using the term, simply the state of being organized. This chapter comes directly after the chapter on environment, and as we go along you'll see why that's the natural progression for that to be the next chapter. I open chapter 13 on organization with a quote from a book written in 1925, or published in 1925, the author being Florence Scovel Shinn. The book is The Game of Life and How to Play It. It's a classic self-help book in this field, which you may have heard of. Here's a quote I pulled from that book. If you wish to be rich, you must be orderly. All men with great wealth are orderly, and order is heaven's first law. Then, of course, as you know, on the last page of each chapter, I have 7 more quotes. Harry Lorraine wrote an interesting book in 1961, published in 1961, called Secrets of Mind Power. And here's something he wrote in that book. The fastest, most efficient, easiest, and best way of doing anything, including thinking, is the organized way. The state of being organized requires and breeds efficiency. When things are organized and streamlined, they tend to function better. They tend to function more efficiently. When you start to apply the science of attracting money with mind power, as I teach in my book, and as you read my book, you will naturally find your thoughts becoming more organized. You will find yourself thinking in a more orderly, goal-directed, outcome-directed way of thinking. You will notice, as you become more organized in your thinking for prosperous purposes, that you will just naturally find yourself beginning to organize your surroundings. You will, as you organize your thoughts, you will not be able to help but to begin to organize your environment. And it won't surprise you by this time to hear me say that not only will your organized thoughts, your more organized thinking and consciousness cause you to begin to manually and physically organize your environment, but as you do so, as you find yourself within a increasingly organized environment, more conducive to what you are trying to accomplish, you will find that your environment then affects your thoughts and causes your thoughts to become even more organized. So again, just as we discussed in the last session on environment, the thoughts affect the organization of the environment, and all of your affairs, and the organization of your affairs and your environment affect your thoughts. So it's a cycle that feeds on itself, and as you become more organized, you will just naturally find yourself becoming even more organized. The angle of organizing your thoughts is what you're learning in the book. It's learning to be goal-directed. It's learning to control your thoughts, to determine what you want. It's learning to have goals, to create the states of belief and expectancy that you want to create, filtering out and limiting negative things that are not conducive to the monetary goals you're trying to gain, and all of these things. You've been learning that and will continue to learn that in the later chapters of the book and in these sessions. But what I also want you to do, and what I teach in the book, and which is as important, or nearly, is that you should begin to physically organize your environment. What do I mean by your environment? I mean that which is under your direct control to actually change. Obviously, your home comes to mind, your property, your entire house, your garage, attic, basement, the layout of the property itself. If you're out in the country and you have, old rusty cars laying all about, you can at least, line them up in a row or something. Maybe you don't have to get rid of them. Your car, any vehicles, at your locker at work, or your desk at work, your office at work, whatever the case may be, you have control over certain aspects of your physical environment, and you should begin to, in conjunction with becoming more organized in your thoughts, you should begin to directly, with your hands, organize your environment. Roll up your sleeves and, and get it done, because it's going to speed you along in your money attracting efforts. It's going to help you organize your thoughts that much more quickly. So in the book, I, give you specific things to do, but, just think, a lot of it's common sense. You have drawers that with just stuff piled in them, and, whatever gets in there is in there, and you don't know where anything is. Organize those drawers. Organize your garage, box things up, get rid of things you don't use, Clutter is the enemy of organization. You don't need as much stuff as you have. Think about it. There's things that other people could make better use of that are really just in your way at this point. Think simplicity. And not only in your environment, as we're speaking of, but in your affairs, in the things you do, your activities. Organize. Don't just whatever. Have some kind of a plan. Make good use of your time. Organize your schedule. I know you won't think, or most people don't think of organization and cleaning out their drawers as a mind power technique, but it is just as much a mind power technique as anything else. And as you begin to benefit from the practice of organizing not only the inner but the outer, you'll find that. You'll become more prosperous. Okay? Get to work. And we'll see you next time.